the complete script in one continuous sequence with clear headings for structure and flow. Operation Sindoor in Pakistan Action, a neutral view. Introduction. In 2025, rising tensions between India and Pakistan once again brought the spotlight on the disputed region of Jammu and Kashmir. At the heart of the issue was Operation Sindoor, a military campaign launched by India, followed by a series of diplomatic and military responses from Pakistan. Here's a neutral and fact-based overview of the operation and what followed. The trigger: Pahalgam attack. The chain of events began with a deadly attack on an Indian military convoy in the Pahalgam area of Jammu and Kashmir. India accused Pakistan-based militant groups of orchestrating the assault. The Indian government immediately vowed a strong response, blaming cross-border terror networks supported by Pakistan's intelligence agencies. Operation Sindoor, India's military response. Soon after, Indian forces launched Operation Sindoor, targeting what they described as terror launch pads and safe houses in both the Kashmir Valley and near the line of control, low C. Airstrikes and ground operations were conducted with high intensity. Indian media highlighted the operation as a major success, claiming the elimination of key militant leaders and the destruction of several camps. Pakistan's reaction, denial, and countermoves. Pakistan strongly denied involvement in the Pahalgam attack. The government labeled India's actions as a breach of sovereignty and international law. In response, the Pakistani military launched limited cross-border shelling and increased troop movement along the LOC. Pakistan termed this a measured response aimed at deterrence, not escalation. The diplomatic battle. Simultaneously, both nations entered a war of narratives on international platforms. Pakistan raised the issue at the United Nations, demanding intervention and accusing India of committing human rights violations in Kashmir. India maintained its stance of conducting anti-terror operations within its territory or against cross-border threats. Impact on civilians. Caught in the middle, the civilian populations of Kashmir and nearby border regions faced the worst consequences. Shelling, curfews, displacement, and psychological trauma spread across villages. Independent humanitarian agencies reported rising fear and instability, urging both nations to protect civilians and avoid further conflict. Global reactions and calls for peace. Global powers, including the United States, China, and the European Union, urged restraint. They called for direct dialogue between New Delhi and Islamabad, stressing that long-term peace cannot be achieved through military means alone. Conclusion: the bigger picture. Operation Sindoor and Pakistan's counteractions are not isolated incidents, but part of a long history of mistrust, accusations, and unresolved conflict over Kashmir. While both nations claim to act in self-defense, the real need is for a permanent diplomatic solution that ensures peace, security, and justice for all people in the region. Call to action. If you found this explanation informative and balanced, please subscribe, like, and comment below. Your feedback encourages us to